Hold on, guys. I thought... Great. Weird. I hope I didn't do something. There we go. Okay. And now... Hi, guys. Sorry, y'all. Which is weird because they weren't sent at the same time. Hello to whoever else is in the room. I can't see you. Oh, hey, predecessor. Good to see you. I don't think I dove deep enough on this one just because I had spent a lot of time working on other stuff. Then I needed to step away from my computer. So I apologize if it's short. 7 views, 7 subscribers. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Tonight, before we get into everything, I still think it's going to be a good live. Normally, I wouldn't do this, but I was a little bit upset last night. I actually wrote this out, so I'm going to read it as if it's written out. Hey, Jake, thanks for coming in. Last night, one of my subscribers came under verbal attack by a troll who came into my live. Just putting this out there. I will not tolerate it, and neither will my moderator. So be nice and keep your words clean as well. Again, I am sorry to that subscriber, and I want her to know that we will not allow her or any other guest in my lives to come under fire. Not gonna happen. Not now, not ever. So with that being said, depending upon how many more people we get in the live, I may repeat that. But getting into tonight's topic. Thank you, Table. I don't have children to have grandchildren from. So, I hope that answers your question. I don't think I would. But I'm glad you think so. So let's get into this. I gotta get up. I gotta get this set so that I can see you guys and you guys can see me, even if I am a little bit scary. And I don't know about you guys, but that light needs to be turned off. Okay, that's better. So tonight we're talking about zoos and how zoos save endangered species. And you're probably thinking, well, they just do it by breeding animals and then releasing those babies. There's more to it than that. So one article that I saw said they do it by using 3 aspects of conservation, which are practice, advocacy, and even research. But I didn't really like that. So zoos do it by doing captive breeding, which they have done with several animals very successfully. Reintroduction programs, which again, they have also done pretty well. Species survival plans, which sort of wrap up into those first 2. And they even pump revenue into conservation programs for species. They conduct, support, and fund research and conservation. So some of the other things that zoos do, like some of them do brew in the zoo. Or they do zoo lights or the like. Those tickets that you pay for that oftentimes go into conservation programs. They advocate for conservation and wildlife, so they will push on some of those other organizations and the government as well to work to improve nature and conservation. One second while zoos and aquariums also participate and support over 2,500 conservation projects. They work to save species through breeding programs, species reintroduction, habitat conservation, and of course, education. And with that being said, we as human beings have an obligation to protect the planet's biodiversity. We as a species, have an obligation to protect the other species and the planet. And it is a lot, predecessor. It is a whole lot of a lot. We have discussed in several videos or lives about programs and educational programs and awareness programs that zoos do, as well as all the other different keeper chats. Hello, William. Anybody else that I haven't said hello to, I apologize. Educational programs at zoos and all those wonderful educational chats as well. And I just went. So, zoos keep track of who breeds who. So, we're going to do this. We're just going to, we have Przewalski's horse at Zoo A, and another one at, wait, let's do it this way. So we have A, B, and C, Przewalski's horses. They are all related. But, and those are at 3 different zoos. But Zoo D has an unrelated female, and Zoo A has an unrelated Przewalski's horse that they can breed. So what they'll do is they will send their animal down to Zoo D for breeding purposes. And then cross their fingers and hope that things go good. So we have that going. And eventually that pair ultimately we're just gonna come up with a random number, produces over years 4 babies, all of which are reintroduced into Mongolia. So that zoo has pumped fresh blood into that facility or into the wild. But they also are doing more than that. So we're going to say John Doe and his wife Jane. Man, I cannot write for anything. Are at the zoo, and they're there with their 10 kids. Whatever, we don't care. Yes, I said 10 kids. And they are listening to a keeper chat about clouded leopards. Right? They're there listening to that chat about the animals, and 7 out of the 10 kids decide they now have a favorite animal. So they tell their friends about the clouded leopard. They get their friends interested in it. So now there are 10 kids that really like it. So they go to their teacher. And the teacher decides, hey, that's a really great animal. Why don't we start a fundraiser? And so now there's a fundraiser, all because one family decided to go to the zoo. In reality, it doesn't work that way. Typically, it doesn't work that way. But it's possible, I guess. Carol had something like that happen. I hope, anyway. So they keep track of, like we were talking about with the Pavlovsky's horse, about how they keep track of who breeds with whom. They breed animals to hopefully save them in the wild. Now, they also breed animals with the intent of having a backup. And what I mean by that is way back when, I'm going to use a real zoo. If the Bronx Zoo wanted an exhibit on lions, they had to send somebody to Africa to capture lions. Not the way to do it. So now what we try and do is, if the Bronx Zoo has babies, baby lions, they will wait till the babies get so big, and that creates a surplus, and they will send that surplus to other zoos. Zoos also do research. I don't remember right now if it's the Los Angeles Zoo or the San Diego Zoo. But they do, where they take the gametes from animals with the intent of creating test tube babies in a future where maybe that animal has gone extinct in the wild, and they can still create viable offspring via a surrogate parent. And they also do medical research. So if an animal, it is a good system, as long as it works. They also are able to do research, because sometimes you're going to have a sick animal and you may not know a lot about it, but you work with your veterinarians until you get it right. And maybe you take pre-existing knowledge and you work with it until you get it right. We're not only working on saving an animal's life, but we are also learning things about behavior. They fund inspiration. And that is a huge, huge part of a zoo, is they fund inspiration. inspiration is huge in a zoo. Sorry, I write big. Thanks, Predecessor Carol. Are you good? You're quiet. Just making sure if you're good. Okay. They join with local schools, the community, all of their visitors that come through, hoping to engage with them. And sometimes what you are engaged with are the animals, right? Because we all have our favorite animals. When we go to the zoo, that animal that you want to see first before you see anything else. And I can honestly say that one of my favorite animals are the painted, if they're there, are the painted dogs, right? And so I will seek them out. They may not be the first animal that I see, but I'm probably going to spend some time watching them. I also really like the gorillas. So if a zoo has gorillas, you can bet I'm going to be there watching the gorillas. So you get engaged with that animal, and then you want to know about that animal. You might get lucky, like I did, and get to speak with a docent who's there. You might speak with a zookeeper. I can remember being 6 or 7 out at Hogle Zoo and getting to pet an emu. And it was one of those moments where it was pretty iconic. It was pretty amazing. To pet an animal that is bigger than me, but allowed me to pet it. And it was pretty cool. My first time touching a zoo animal, a wild zoo animal, not like a goat. Those moments, yeah, it was really special, Predecessor, amazingly special. And it's those moments that make the zoo experience incredible. They're hoping that you will. So did I. I got to ride an Asian elephant, I believe, at the Hogle Zoo. I'm maybe a little bit scared, but I did it. Those experiences, I think, are done and gone. I don't think they allow people to do that. I think the Minnesota Zoo does camel rides. I've been on a pony. I guess I liked it. I don't really like horses. They're a little big, but yeah, it's those experiences that get people engaged with Mother Nature. Hello, whoever is in live. Somebody came in. I don't know who you are, but you're welcome. I am not a part of the AZA in any way. I don't work for them. I don't get paid by them. I don't get money to talk about them or anything. But I'm going to start doing videos on the other channel, or lives on the other channel, I should say, where we do conservation success stories and conservation spotlights. These are different than our Learn to Care videos on this channel. Learn to Care lives, I should say. But one of the animals that I'm going to talk about right now is the truly iconic golden lion tamarin. These are a beautiful animal. It's a marmoset. It was before 2023, it was critically endangered. Which is the last step before an animal is listed as extinct. So they were right on that ledge between extinction and survival, or extinction and critically endangered. Zoos started breeding them and designed a plan to reintroduce them into their native habitat. So that started happening. By 2003, it is very scary because you don't know what's going to happen. If the numbers drop too low, then your genetics are no good. Animals start interbreeding, and it's a mess. But they were able to go in and do genetic testing. I'm sure that's a part of it anyway, and figured out who was not related, who is related, and then they were able to go in and start breeding. And they bred enough of them and reintroduced enough of them that in the year 2003, it went from critically endangered to just plain endangered. And now, let's see. I'm going to do this, but I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the right information. So they are still endangered, but they're not critically endangered. Because there's a whole lot of stuff going on in their environment. And it's not all good. So unfortunately, they are still endangered, and their population trend is on the decrease. There are 1,400 mature individuals, but the work is continuing. So that's good. We're not giving up. We went from 2 to 3, or from 3 to 2, I should say. Okay, so I want to say that there's always hope, but that is not always the case. Oh, so now I don't have much else to talk about. But so we're gonna chat. I was hoping we'd have some other people in chat, but we really don't. Yeah. So pretty darn amazing. One last thing, the other channel celebrated its birthday today. So it is a year old. It's been 1 year since its doors opened to all of you. You'll be hearing about conservation success stories like the golden lion tamarin and others, as well as talking about conservation spotlights, which are going to highlight some of these conservation programs involving other species, as well as species from all across the globe. I know it's not the end of live, but I wanted to mention the upcoming lives for both channels. I'm going to start doing the week. So Sunday, that is tomorrow, we are doing a conservation spotlight on the Cuban crocodile. Tuesday, we are going to start a little small series on rainforest, and we will delve a little bit deeper into some of those topics throughout the month. At some point, yes. I don't have it. I don't think I have it planned, but at some point. Then we're going to do Thursday. We are doing what is on my most wanted list, and that is on the other channel. Oh, hi, Jody. I have a friend that I graduated high school with by the same name, and only it's done with a Y. Friday, we are doing Friday at 7 p.m. We are doing trivia night. And then Saturday, that is next Saturday, we are going to do Be Safe Around Coyotes. Now, Carol wanted me to do something else for that date, but with everybody having coyotes, and with winter coming up and food becoming a little bit scarcer, we're going to discuss coyotes and how to be safe around them. Some of it is not so much for us, but for our pets, but we're still going to discuss some of that also. I know she does. And we will be doing trivia. I haven't decided what type of trivia. But we will be doing trivia. And I don't even know if it'll be from the book. I was singing today, like I sometimes do, and I think I overdid it. Because my voice is feeling just a little bit puckered. Yes. But there are more stuff coming. We were up till 11 o'clock. Or closer to 10. I don't know which. But it was late. And me and Carol, we scheduled. Well, we didn't come up with any new lives. Yeah, I know it was late. I just and I don't think we came up with any new lives necessarily, but we put dates on them. And I guess we did. So we took lives are now scheduled all the way through the 30, all through November. So we will be doing Be Safe Around. We're going to do bushmeat the last month, or the last week and a half of November will be bushmeat, safe around mountain lions, animals of the Arctic in the collection, Zoo to Do Toronto Zoo, Conservation Spotlight Oxyteal or Oxalotl, Learn to Care African Painted Dogs. And November 30th, we're going to be doing Exploring Nature Sandhill Cranes, because right about that time is when they go into migration. So they will be traveling around the nation as they migrate. So that's why we're doing it then. Should be an interesting live. Because a lot of people will call them either herons or geese, and they're neither. So that is what's coming up. Also, I have scheduled a Halloween falls on a day that is not on one of our lives. But, we are going to do October 29th, Shapeshifters from Skinwalkers to Werewolves. Well, we get both, but typically the stuff that people call cranes are usually herons. Herons have, when they fly, they do something really weird with their necks. Oh, that is cool. So egrets are a type of heron. Herons have pointed bills, as do cranes. But I'm going to do a side profile, or if you're looking up from above, this is a really bad drawing. So when a crane flies, I know it's a really bad picture, bear with it. When a crane flies, it flies with its head straight out. A heron, when it flies, its neck is sort of bent and the head is pushed in a little bit. Does color matter? What do you mean? Let me see if I can show you. Yes and no, Carol. So this is a great blue heron, and they're typically bluish gray and a black little crest thing. But this is what I wanted to show you. So this is an egret. And he's starting to fly. And you can see how his neck, I don't know if you can see that. The neck is sort of S-shaped. In my area, we see a lot of great blue herons. It's not broken. That's just how they fly. That's a better picture of it. That's how they fly. Cranes don't fly like that. These are some other herons. Now, we don't call them herons. We call them egrets for whatever reason. But basically, they're herons. There are tricolored herons. There's little blue herons. Those are more southern. Yellow-crowned night herons. Black-crowned night herons. We have these. You actually see those a lot up here if you're paying attention. And we also have the green heron or green-backed heron. And they are a smaller heron. They don't get very big. They are. Now, the cranes, they're a little bit different looking. A lot of times the cranes that we see are these sandhill cranes. And they're gray with a red head. And I think the sandhill cranes are a little bit bigger than the blue herons, I think. They top off at around 48 inches. Now, there's also whooping cranes. And the whooping cranes are white with red. And yeah, most egrets are red. Most egrets are white. I don't know of any egrets that aren't white. But those are the cranes that we have in North America. You will sometimes get a mixed flock where you'll get herons or the cranes in a mixed flock sometimes. That happens. Or you'll get a leucistic, and that happens, and that just really throws people off. But yeah. And unless something really bizarre happens during the spring and summer. Yeah, but usually when people see a bird out in the swampy areas, and this area, it's usually a heron. Now, you do sometimes get these birds landing in other areas. If you go down by my sister's house, You will see tons of these birds tons of cranes all over the place during migration time. So that is a great blue heron. That's the classic. Sort of a bluish gray, a little bit of white on the head, and those sort of crusty black feathers coming right above the eye. Okay? They are gorgeous birds. And those are pretty much found across the nation. We usually don't think of them as being really noisy birds. I had no idea that I would be discussing these. These birds are pretty cool. The sandhills. That is. So, that's an adult sandhill crane with a baby. The babies are so cute. Notice the red head, the white head, red and white head of the parent. Herons will not have that red patch. At all. And when they fly, because we talked about how the cranes fly, or how the herons fly. When a crane flies, its legs are straight out, the head is out, and the wings are out. Now they do fly very often in a V formation. I'm hoping oh, come on. I'm hoping you'll be able to hear this. Hold on. I don't know what's going on. I'm not getting any sound. So let me go back. That is a sandhill crane. Can you hear that? That's the baby. The calls that we get very often are them in flight. And it's a very different sound when they're in flight. But they don't sound anything like a goose. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for doing that. But you can tell the difference. Anyway, so that's something that we'll be talking about in November, because I want to try and educate. So yeah. Hello, whoever just came in. Very, very different from herons. Herons do make calls. They do make calls. Hey, Jake. A lot of their calls that I've heard are usually made around the nest. So hopefully that answers your question, Carol, about herons and cranes. I hope. By the way, I don't know if it's good news or bad news or exactly what it is. But I checked subscribers today. And man, did I get the shock of my life. We gained subscribers. Oh, we gained another one. Last time I looked, we were sitting at 666 subscribers. We are now at 667. By the way, last night's live on Mangroves has 43 views. Not bad. Now if we can just get our other stuff up. Watch time is at 120 watch time hours. I am not complaining about that at all. Thank you, predecessor. And we are at 1,548 public watch time hours. We need to be at 3,000. But as you can see, we are getting there. And if I scroll down, we're getting closer and closer to 1,000. So making progress, which is good, which is really good. was never really going to be looking to make money off of this. I'm still really not. But, you know what? The more I look at it, I really want to. Would you guys like to see video of baby turkeys? I don't know how we would do it exactly. But my niece, who's now in her 30s, they just had baby turkeys. So I'm either going to have to schedule a time to go over there and check them out. But they have all types of stuff, from turkeys to chickens and geese. So, yeah. Not really a farm. They own some land and they decided to put in a garden and to get some birds. So they have chickens and some turkeys and some geese. This week for videos, I have 2 more from this week that I need to record and post. But coming up this week, oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. Coming up this week, my family, when I was little, raised chickens. And while I didn't participate in the activities around it, I had been around baby chicks, and I've been around chickens, and I've been around turkeys, but yeah. So pretty cool. But coming up this week in videos, at least my regular videos, we are going to be doing, I don't remember exactly. We're going to be talking about Goliath tigerfish that I need to trace and get that ready for you, as well as parrots as a group. And then next week, we are doing plain zebra, whale lice, glaucids. I'll put it into the live. Great white sharks, endangered. Goosefish. Yes. My poor pronunciation of things. I think I spelled that right. Yep. Great white sharks. Not really endangered, but getting there. Goosefish. Tiger shark versus bull shark. And then the history of the peach. So all of that will be happening. And I thought I already did that, but I can't find the video. So, and then the week after that, kookaburra, giant land snail, Canadian moonseed, gaboon viper, extreme environments, Atlantic torpedo ray, and blister beetle. So that's what's coming up for the next 2 weeks. For the other channel, mussel larva, not, yeah. Just not, yeah. And then this week on the other channel, we are doing jaguar. So we've done the melanistic jaguars. This time around, we are doing more jaguars. And we're going to do again our usual 4 live, our usual 4 shorts. We're going to do basically reproduction. It eats what? Jaguar range and things, and then other facts. And then the following week, I don't have the shorts made up. But hold on. The upcoming reviews. Of course, we're going to be reviewing the big jaguar. But we're also going to be doing... So we're going to be doing the blue jaguar, or the large jaguar. Never mind. We did the black jaguar, the melanistic jaguar, some time ago. On the other channel. And then we're going to do meerkats. I should have 3. What's my third one? Snow leopard. Okay. And then the next set of 3 that we'll be doing the reviews on are the woolly rhino, Megacerops, and the white-tailed deer. So, yeah. Oh, my legs. Oh. Remind me, ladies, why do I sit like that? Yep. The black jaguar. I'm good. I'm good. I always say that I enjoy sitting that way, and I will sit that way until I can't anymore. So, yeah. So, predecessor, not to dwell on stuff, but I asked my YouTube group, that's a bunch of us beginners, and I asked them about how that guy was able to get in after Carol blocked him, or after the he was timed out, and somebody goes, there was a mistake. I'm like, yeah, there was a mistake. So hopefully, also, we suspect that Hassan Campbell that came in was also Michael. We can't 100%. I know you didn't make a mistake, but based on the comment that he made when he came in, yeah. It's been discussed, predecessor, I want to put something out there, but then I don't. They do, which is sad. Although I have 2 accounts. So, no, I don't. Not really. I mean, it's technically 2 different accounts. But I have one that is this account, and then I have one for the other name. Technically, I have 3. But it's with a different email. No. It's because I wanted to keep the things separate. Because it's 2 different groups, more or less. Oh, we're over. That's okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people tonight. More or less. She is. And I like her for that. And at some point, I'm going to need another one. Carol, send me some Wendy's. I had a burrito, and I'm still hungry. I'm a growing boy. I need food. I don't know where that was taken, but that's a pretty picture. Norway. Can you see that? Is that not gorgeous? Predecessor. I'm going to throw this out here. I'm going to put this out there. And you can reject it. Okay? You can even tell me to hush up. Carol, how hard is it to be a moderator? Tech-wise. We're both broke. Okay, so it's easy. Predecessor. Right now, I say right now because I don't know what's going to happen. But having Carol does free me up quite a bit. But when I reach 1,000, if I ever reach 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna need another person. Somebody I can trust. Would you be interested in being a moderator? It is not a paid thing. I don't think. But I don't have a lot of... Okay. And I might need it before I reach 1,000. If we had all 667 people in live, I mean, you've seen a good night when it gets busy. Right now, with just a few people coming in and out, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. So I'm thinking if and when that happens, Carol, when it becomes too much, let me know. I'm thinking instead of doing phone calls... Oh, predecessor, you'll know when it gets busier. I'm thinking doing like a... You're not on Facebook. I'm trying to think of how to do it so that we can have talks. I like to plan ahead. I was thinking maybe Zoom. That way we could all be a part of the conversation. But if that's not going to work, as long as we keep it under an hour, it won't cost me anything. But I do want to ask you guys about Christmas. I have 667 subscribers. I can't call all 667 subscribers. But I want to do something really cool for Christmas time. I'm just thinking... Carol, is it easier having access to the scripts? I'm assuming so. Yeah. But it would be me that would pay that anyway. Um yes you do. Yes you do. I gave you access to all that stuff. I thought. Oh. Well, let's see, Carol. I thought I gave you access to the scripts. Yeah, Carol, you have access to you have access to Friday's lives, at least. So when the time comes that I need you, predecessor, I will let you know. But I don't have a lot of people that come in every week. Carol, you're cheating. I saw that. But one of the things that I do is with Carol, she doesn't have the ability to edit my scripts. But she can go in and read all of the scripts. And I will do the same thing for you. You'll be able to read the scripts ahead of time so that you know what's going to be happening. Dang. How can we need a code? I was talking to this with Carol. We need a code. So did anybody notice that when William was putting in all of those emojis? So do I. Let me see. Jody, are you talking about a live or are you talking about video? Because I've done polar bear like species focus already, but I think well, if I'm doing Arctic animals, I'm doing the North American animals at some point, but I'm doing a separate thing on the Arctic animals. Yeah, I don't have. So maybe animals associated with Christmas. Like a Christmas week. But I've already done polar bears. Or polar bear as a species. And I think and I've done caribou. I did caribou / reindeer a year ago. But maybe we could do true. So maybe there is some history stuff on Santa's reindeer. Would that work for everybody? And then I probably would space it out throughout the week or throughout the month, rather. That might be when I do another but see though we already did animals from the Bible. My thing is, I don't know if I could get enough, or if it would be just me talking, saying that, Mary was carried into Bethlehem on the back of a donkey. That's all. Definitely can talk about penguins because, we do have one. We have one out of, I think, 4 of the Antarctic penguins, which is something else I have to do this week. I have to make up a list. It would be. But I don't know if I could do an entire live on just that. However, we are going to do some of the Christmas carols that have animals in them, so doves. I think we talked about the boar's head last year when we did the Christmas origins. I think I've done. Yeah, I've done a history of the donkey. And it got 3 views. The animals that are in it, potentially we could do. Anyway, I need to go because it's getting late and I still have stuff to do. Yeah, I was thinking that too, predecessor. Because I don't do a lot of plants. I've done poinsettia. Not a bad idea. So I was planning on doing the reindeer because there's a whole entire history of and some of it's pretty crazy on the reindeer thing. Yeah, so predecessor, this is some of what Carol gets to do with me. Me flying. Heh, heh, heh. Good night, predecessor. I'm getting ready to go too. Okay, everybody. It is the end of live. I like that idea, Carol. Remember to always keep learning and never give up on yourself. And I will see you in the next exciting live. Goodbye, everybody. Good night.